Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Energy Healing Lifestyle Self-Care Challenge Day 38. So we are on day 38 of 49 days to self-care. I absolutely love that. Not gonna lie. Let me find this and share this out, and I will do my best to multitask. Um, so today, acronym self-care, the letter L is for love, meaning showing up for ourselves with the same love and compassion. Sorry, I'm hearing noises. Love and compassion that we give to others, right? How easy is it, empathic healers, to be very kind and loving and compassionate with other people and then turn around and be our biggest critic, right? Judge ourselves, be hard on ourselves, have high expectations. Well, today is about giving ourselves that same love and compassion that we offer to others. The same receiving that love of unconditional love of God Source Creator. And the acronym of Best You today is the letter S for self-image. So that includes having love and compassion for the current self-image that we, in a sense, have created for ourselves, which is literally what it is. So how we see ourselves, how we identify with ourselves, the labels that we carry, the titles that we carry, the roles that we play, the patterns that we repeat, the beliefs that we have internalized and made it a part of quote unquote who we are. And again, an example I'll share again. What I mean about that is when I had depression and anxiety, I would like own that and be that in the sense of my choices of words. Well, I'm depressed. And I didn't say that, or I'm a depressed person, or I'm an anxious person. I'm anxious. I wouldn't say it just to say this is how I'm feeling. Like I'm feeling low today. I'm feeling depressed today. I'm feeling anxious today. It was like I am it. Like my whole abilities were limited by this thing. Same with, and I've shared before, like with diabetes, people who have diabetes, how there's that ownership of it, right? They like, I am diabetic. So really being cautious and careful in a sense of, I don't want to say cautious and careful, but aware, right? Be aware as us and aligned. Be aware of those identities that we take on, how we own things around us that we don't actually have to be or internalize to that degree. I'm not dismissing them and saying they don't play a role or that they don't limit us in some ways, but it doesn't have to have the power we give it. Like when I had depression, and I do say had because I have not battled depression in years. Thank you. Reiki actually has helped me with that final oomph to get through that, the energy healing and the consistency in it. I don't always necessarily give myself Reiki, but I am always mindful of the energy. And then I go within and I move through these, challenges that I face before it can completely take me down and out. So I manage myself way better than I used to. I just saw 333 on my little StreamYard timers, just shouting out at those angel numbers, right? Same with anxiety. I had not felt a whole bunch of anxiety, and I say a whole bunch because there's life is still life, and there are times that we feel anxious, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that emotion is a diagnosis that has to be a thing that happens all the time that we live with on a 24/7 or right. There is a difference in that. There was a time in my life where it was more consistent and constant feelings of anxiety and depression, like they tag team, right? One or the other, sometimes a weird both. Now I have moments where I can feel that anxiety, which might just be extreme nervousness, but definitely feels like anxiety. I can even feel like the physical tremors in that in a sense. But it's situational, and situational is very different than like a diagnosis of or a continuation of or that all day, all the time of, right? I'm going to have a procedure done Friday, right? Getting that tooth out. I'm a little nervous about that. There's a big difference between that and what it used to be. Boy, I'd have been a hot mess years ago. So again, that gratitude and being aware of the changes that we make. Iona talked about yesterday in our MMMK. the successes that we have. My bad, day before, I believe it was, the first day one of the MMMK challenge. Be mindful and notice those acknowledgments, those recognitions, those successes, and seeing those for ourselves again. So that progress that we make, showing ourselves that love, right? Again, love for today in our self-care challenge. And the shifts and changes and that reminder that even if or when we have identified a certain way. So as I said, I had identified with my depression. See, I just owned it there for a minute with my depression and I owned it anxiety. It's empowering to know that I don't have to continuously forever and ever and ever keep that. There was a time I thought I did. I accepted it as it just was, and I had to learn to live with it. There was some truth to that, right? I did have to learn to manage through it, but I didn't have to keep it. I didn't have to keep that as part of my identity. I didn't have to stay a depressed person. I didn't have to stay an anxious person. That's amazing. So anybody else out there who has those difficulties and those challenges and those struggles and can relate with that, this isn't blame, shame, and guilt. This isn't pointing fingers saying, oh, you're making yourself stay depressed and oh, you're making yourself stay anxious. It's not that, because that's just that depression and anxiety feeding itself. That's ego humanness using itself against itself. Weird, I know, but we do it. Humans. But seriously, it's empowering. So please take that as a moment of hope and empowerment to know that there are ways to move beyond it, to move through it. And don't start setting expectations, right? Because it doesn't mean that you'll never feel low, and it doesn't mean that you'll never feel depressed, and it doesn't mean that you'll never feel anxiety. It just means it doesn't have to be, quote unquote, who we are, right? It doesn't have to be all the time. There is hope. But you have to meet yourself with love and compassion because, again, if you don't, the ego tries to take us out. And ego humanness, meaning that blame, shame, and guilt, the pointing of the fingers, right? See, I knew this was all on you, and you were the no, stop, don't even. I've done it to myself, which is why I know, why I'm sharing. But cut that off, right? That's part of the old patterns, which is something I, again, journaled on today, as I showed you yesterday. Little peek today, was journaling this morning. I brought it with me to try to help me stay focused. I think I called it notes yesterday, but because I was using them as notes, but it is literally my journal. So if you take the Chakra Healing Challenge and you're on my platform, theenergyhealingschool.com, you'll see that you can print these off for yourself if you would like to use them. Just taking that breath. There's so much that came in this morning, and I want to be mindful of your time. Also, if you find benefit in these videos, again, and if you think you know someone who might benefit from the videos, please share them out. I noticed someone shared yesterday for me, so thank you for that. I appreciate that. And if it reaches a person it's meant to, they may appreciate that as well. I think we're all human. We're trying to normalize some of these human experiences, right? But also be supportive of each other, show that we walk our talk when we do this healing process. And we don't have to do this alone, right? And it also keeps me accountable to show up here each day. So thank you for that. And thank you on the platforms, right? So thank you, YouTube and Facebook and Rumble and all the places that we share for creating these platforms for us to do so. So love, self-image, all in the solar plexus. So we're covering the solar plexus chakra today. Iona and the Soul Legacy Academy and Spiritual Biz YouTubers Network in her blending words again, in her Soul Legacy journal with the intentional living codes. Today is emotional freedom. Again, I'm fully aware that yesterday I cover emotions. Yesterday on Tuesdays, I cover emotions with the sacral chakra because the sacral chakra governs our emotions, right? When you're looking at the 7 main chakras in the human body. However, there's still a connection with the solar plexus and our emotions. So when you think about, I need to be standing. I could use my little tapestry back here. So see here, the red, we have the root chakra, right? Governs our beliefs that are rooted in our human experience. The next one up is sacral chakra, which governs our emotions. And then today, I'm going by how this looks, so I hope I'm in line with it. We have yellow for the solar plexus chakra, which really speaks about our self-image. We talk about our self-power, our thought patterns, all those mental, the ways that we think about ourselves and then as projected out to others. So think about the thought patterns that you have, and that emotion, the energy moves up, down, and all around, right? So in the humanness, whatever thought patterns we have in the solar plexus feeds the energy to the sacral chakra where we have our emotions, right? And then emotions are energy in motion. Have you heard that saying before? So we amplify the energy of our thoughts and thought patterns, which then leads it back into our root chakra, which becomes our 3D reality. It's like that process of manifestation in a way, us creating our human experience. That visual with the colors and the energy and the chakras really dropped in for me today. I've taught it for a long time, but just the added visual. So when you think about pulling love, I'm still doing this, you guys. I hope you can see me purposely. When you think of love, the add-on that dropped in with that visual today was pulling in that love, right? That love of God, Source, Creator. So you go all the way up. I know you can't see the crown, or can you? No, I don't think it's in your visual, but if it is, great. At the very top of this tapestry, we have the crown chakra, right? Or a symbol of the crown chakra. That unconditional love that comes from God, Source, Creator, Universe, whichever name that you give, is pulled down in through, right, our crown chakra. And we allow that energy to come through the crown chakra, through the third eye, the throat, the heart, to our solar plexus, right? To show ourselves that type of love and compassion. Remember, it's not the icky, selfish, gross, egoic type of love, self-love. It's that love that we receive from above, if you will, through the crown chakra from God's Source Creator into our solar plexus. So then we can start to clear out some of those icky old egoic thought patterns. And I have some of those in my journal as well that came into my awareness today, or at least for today. I'm aware of them, been aware of many of them, but some still linger, right? Layers upon layers, so that we can hold that space, have that love and compassion for our ego. I know people talk about ego death, and we're not out here trying to stab it to death. We're holding the space and, in a sense, loving it to death, meaning that we're giving it so much love and compassion and holding the space for it to just be, as Kyle Cease, would say, that you allow it that to be in your body. Give it the attention and hold the space for it, shower it with love in a sense. And as you do that, it actually eases and releases. It allows it to go. It doesn't have to fight itself anymore, right? So then we shift and change those patterns and create those new habits, because this is also the space, patterns, habits, right? The things that we repeat. So we shift and clear all of that out, and then we have clearer energy then that goes to the sacral chakra. So now that I've cleared away, right, as I clear some of that energy and I shift and change those habits and those thought patterns, which are also automatic and habitual, how I see myself, how I envision myself, and what I'm worthy of, and what I told myself I wasn't. But as I have that different type of energy again, I then feel differently. So the feeling, which is why we also talk about gratitude, right? Bringing in the energy, and come back down here in emotions. There we go. We talk about the working on visuals, you guys. We talk about energy and motion is our emotions, right? Energy in motion, amplifying that energy of gratitude, right? So when we really work with that gratitude and we're building that emotion and the emotions that come with that gratitude, and then we amplify those feelings down into our root chakra, which then creates our human experience, right? Very different from the old human ego critic amplifying into all the stress, energy, emotions into our experience versus that love of God, Source, Creator, gratitude, joy, happiness, higher vibrational energies into to be rooted into our human experience, right? Isn't that amazing? I just love that, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. And I was able to do that with without all of my notes. Just being silly. I am going to check my notes though, because now that I went through all that, I'm not sure I want to dig back into some of the gunk that I dug into through my journaling process, but I want to make sure that I have enough examples. Let me know if that made sense. If I was able to drive that home, I might leave it and save some of this for the next. Maybe that's all that needed to occur today, right? Came into my awareness, assessed where it was at. And again, the assessment process, guys, isn't the part of expecting perfection. And I know that, I mean, Iona shared today about really making peace with where she is in the moment. And I can share this because she shared it on her live. So you can go watch her live and see it, yourself as well. Um, excuse me, but making peace with our moments, making peace with where we are right now, right? So even though we are humans, we look for the future. Excuse me, we set those goals and we have movements and we have visions and we, always doing a thing. I don't mean just a thing, but the idea, you know what I mean? We're in motion and thinking of somewhat in the future, oftentimes, sometimes in the past too, but being in peace with where we are right now. Why was I bringing that up? Oh, the awareness and the assessment. And she was saying how she's a recovering perfectionist or recovered perfectionist. And excuse me, the assessment isn't to say that we have to be perfect. And the assessment part isn't, and to assess to align, to get into alignment with highest self or love or unconditional love isn't to take away, dismiss, or say that it's not okay or normal to feel what we're feeling in the moment. But also, I think that we need to be careful of our humanist ego to not get stuck there because it will give itself permission to do that, right? So I sometimes see, and if this is you who post it, this is not a judgment, it's just another perspective. I get what you're saying by we don't always have to be perfect and we don't always have to feel good and we don't always have to be great and we don't always have to. And I agree, we don't. It's not even normal. Like it's not normal to be in that position. However, for me, at least, I know I've done it. I've guilted myself for feeling okay. I have guilted myself in the past for feeling happy. I've guilted myself in the past for healing through some things or challenged myself, like, that worthiness. Who are you? I used to hear that, as a kid, like, who do you think you are? And then my ego would pop up and switch it around. So it's not to say be aware and assess and align with that highest, with unconditional love, because you're not okay and you're wrong to feel how you feel right now, if that's not how you're feeling. It's to say you don't have to be stuck there if you're feeling stuck, right? It's to say most of us oftentimes want to feel better. So if you do, here's a process to get there. Um, a lot of us set those goals and aspirations and things that we want to accomplish. And sometimes it's our human ego-ness holding us back from getting there. This is a process that we can take to move through that. That's all. Um, Holding that space, though, and meeting ourselves with love and compassion is part of that saying, I see you and I hear you, meaning for ourselves, right? We're giving that gift to ourselves. I see you and I hear you and I feel you. And it's okay to feel that way in my body. It's okay to feel that right now. I'm not beating you up for it. I'm not saying not giving you permission to. I'm giving you full permission to for a darn change, right? I'm giving you full permission to feel the way that you need to feel right now. But I'm also telling you, I'm not going to leave you stuck there anymore. I'm not leaving you behind anymore, right? So there's that fine line, and that's my offer, my perspective. Again, it's not about fighting it, right? It's where we are in the moment. It is giving ourselves permission, but it's also not leaving ourselves stuck. And if you have a human ego like mine, it totally push you down and leave you stuck and hold you there. So I'm just here to say that for those who can resonate with that, nope, don't have to. Don't have to at all. At all. And here is some steps and ways that we can move through that. And you don't have to do it alone because I'm here with you, right? Not saying that you wanted me to be, but if you want someone to be in your corner, I gotcha. So I think maybe I will not hold on to, I will wait and see. How's that? For next week, if these patterns come back again, and as I'm putting all of my courses, you guys, so let me just toss this in here real quick too. Fourth week of the month, live round of the 7-day chakra. No, let me say that again. Fourth week, I set up the month because right now, at this point in time, it's September. Fourth week of September, starting on Monday, live round of the 7-day chakra healing challenge. So join me there. It'd be great to see you. First Tuesday of every month, we have our live collective energy clearing monthly Zoom call. The link is in the description of this video, so please hop on there and join us. It's free. I'd love to see you though. Get on a call face to face. And what else? Oh, money. So let me go through that too, because I'm pulling this in more. More and more is dropping in on this money thing because we teach what we need, and I need to clear more money blocks. So guess what? We can do this together too. I've been given, and I say given from God Source Creator, and support and knowledge and a model to follow from Iona Mead. Let me just say that too. Can't leave her out of that because I literally, this model would not have been able to create myself. So my programs, my system, God Source Creator gave me, right? Because of my life experience, like all the things coming together. And again, thank you to Iona for creating a model, a blueprint to follow so that I can put these things all together and link them all together and show how one can support the other in a way that doesn't burn me out because there's a lot, and two, that I could share with you in a way that you can work with as you need, right? So it's going into a self-study format so that you can do these things at your own pace, which is stinking amazing. However, it's taken me time to create and record and put all of the pieces together. So thank you for your patience in that. Um, and all of it fits. So, anyways, let me come back to what was I saying? Money blocks, right? So I do have a 5-day money blocks clearing challenge. And the humanness as we are, sorry, you do these videos, you can see yourself. So it's like looking in a mirror sometimes. Um, the why do we do this? I'm just going to call it out, all right? I know why we do it because we're humans and we have blocks. Tell me if you do it too. And I've called myself out with like Reiki and stuff before. Like I know what to do and how to do it. And then in that humanness, just don't for some reason, like choosing not to, right? Do you guys do that too? Like, it's like I have a headache and I know that this method helps take the headache away, but instead I'm suffering with a headache instead of just doing the thing. It's so weird, which is why Iona teaches intentional living, right? To get in those habits intentionally of doing the things that help us, that work, that to walk our talk. So owning my stuff, being accountable, the 5-day money blocks clearing challenge, seeing again more of all of those steps coming into play and doing them again, clearing more out, right? I shared the other day about how I thought I just said, okay, enough of the resistance. I put it away. I'm wide open. And then boom, here's all this resistance. And I didn't even see it. So again, with the C.A.R.E window, and I'm creating a masterclass. So yay for that. And I'll let you know when I'm going to do that, release that or launch that. So the emotional freedom, I hope you were able to see through that process of the thought patterns and our self-image, and then how that feeds the emotions. And then with the emotions are like intensifying the energy of that same thought pattern that then go into our root chakra that is like the root of our human experience. It's like we are literally creating our reality. We are living this reality with that perspective based on those thought patterns, right? So as we're able to hold space for and clear and shift and change those thought patterns. So to change a pattern, you have to truly create a pattern. It means repetition. Just one of the things I really am not a big fan of is repetition. Just saying. But to create a new pattern, you do have to repeat it to create the pattern. That's why it's a pattern. It's not just a thing you've done or a thought that you had. It's something that we do over and over and over so that it can become automatic. As humans, we tend to be habitual creatures, right? So intentionally creating the patterns that we want to repeat, that we want to feel, that we want to experience, right? I want to experience financial freedom, financial abundance, right? So I have some more thought patterns apparently that need to be cleared. I'm snarky with myself. But seriously, it's okay. I'm calling it out because if I don't, then I just leave it hidden. So I'm not hiding it. I'm shining the light on it, being aware of it, owning it, and taking the action steps, right? Aware, assess, align. Aware of where I'm at, assessing it. It's not where I want to be. I mean, not completely, but like financially speaking. I don't have financial freedom and financial abundance yet, which I would like to have. So I'm assessing that and then getting into alignment with it without being gross and icky, obviously, because those are one of the things that had limited me. One of my limiting beliefs about financial freedom and financial abundance was that it had to be icky or that it meant I was greedy, right? All those icky beliefs, some of those I cleared already in my 5-day money blocks clearing challenge. But again, I'm recognizing, becoming more aware, layers upon layers, there's more, right? And that's okay because we get to choose in every single moment. So there's that homework. See, I almost wrapped it up, let you go without the homework. If I bounced around a lot in this conversation, my apologies. Hopefully, it all connected and made sense. Again, energy moves all over, up, down, and all around, as I think I might have shown today. So I have a chakra healing cheat sheet, which I may rename to just a chakra healing handout in the upcoming 7-day chakra healing challenge. If you are already attuned to Reiki or another healing modality, absolutely use that on your solar plexus, all of your chakras, of course, but today we're focusing on the solar plexus. Excuse me. If you are not already attuned to a form of energy healing, that's okay. You still have the ability because the body knows how to heal itself. You can just place your hand on your stomach above your belly button. So below the rib cage above your belly button is about where your solar plexus is located on the physical body, and just hold your hand there and let the energy do its thing. Color therapy. Again, black helps like deflect some negative energy, right? So it's a neutral color. We can wear it anytime we want to. But the color typically that resonates with the solar plexus chakra is yellow. So you can wear yellow clothing, you can eat yellow foods, drink yellow drinks, yellow crystals. Think of that yellow light, right? Solfeggio frequency that resonates with the solar plexus chakra is 528 hertz. And affirmations or reflections for the solar plexus chakra is I do, that action that we take. So again, those thought patterns tend to become actions, right? So what is it that you're doing? Again, intentional thinking. What are you actually thinking? What are your thought patterns? You don't have to start a sentence with I do, but it's a way of checking in with yourself to say, what is it that I do? What am I doing? How am I thinking? How am I acting? What am I projecting out, right? How do I see myself? And then how do you want to see yourself? And again, it's not blame, shame, and guilt. So please don't do it and I say this for my own inner critic. Please don't take it as an opportunity to start judging the heck out of yourself and then start shaming yourself because you're not this idea of you who you think you should be or that you want to be, right? It's just saying, like, again, I want to be someone who has financial freedom, and I want to be someone who is serving people deeply, who is helping the collective, who is really living in my movement and sharing that movement with other people that provides me and can be that energy exchange for financial freedom, right? It's not a hurting anybody. It's not all the icky things that come along with those ideas. So it's not beating myself up because I haven't done it yet, right? It's just allowing myself to see how I would like to see myself. And if you have some great views about yourself, absolutely write those down. Give yourself credit for what you already have, right? And have that gratitude for it. They're amazing people. Allow yourself to see it, right? See the amazing things that you do too. Elemental healing for the solar plexus. The element of the solar plexus is fire. So as I mentioned about like just imagining and visualizing some yellow light, you can really imagine and visualize the sun in your belly in the solar plexus and just close your eyes and imagine just that sunshine just building and building from your stomach throughout the rest of your body and beyond, right? And if you can, I mean, it's sunny here today, but I have the curtain closed, get out in the sun. That in itself is healing. So thank you for hopping on my live. Thank you for hopping on the replay. Don't forget to drop it in the comments if you found value or what value you found in the video, what you do to heal and clear and balance your solar plexus chakra. If you're able to meet yourself with love and compassion, share your self-image, how you feel about yourself. If you like your self-image, that's a great thing, right? Share that too. Here's the images of me that I like. Here's the images of me that I may change or that I would like to heal, right? It's all about the journey and the process, not blame, shame, and guilt, not criticizing ourselves or beating ourselves up. I still hold space for my inner critic because I am aware that it is still there. However, it's not the relationship that I want to have with me to be that critical of myself all the time, right? And that's okay. We can hold that space for ourselves together. So I will see you soon. See you tomorrow for heart chakra healing. And tomorrow we talk about, let me think of my acronyms. We have self-love. So the letter F, forgiveness. Another big one, forgiveness in the heart chakra. And then the acronym of best you, the heart space is a space for transformation. So the T in best you. So much love to you. See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.